All right, welcome to the Centralist. I'm not going to hold my breath waiting for that link to come on anymore. I'm sorry, guys. We're still playing around with the new tech, and we all been having a lot of fun with it. It is really nice. It's clear. The cameras are great. The audio is great. I look way sexier on these cameras than I do in person. So I'm like, whoa, yeah, I like this. Um, Now we've had some incidents today. People stripping on cam and stuff. So y'all just, just something goes crazy tonight. Don't worry about it. We're going to be talking, no, on a more serious note, before I hand you over to Michael in just a second. We're going to be talking about, of course, Uncle Joe Cracker, who we all love. He's one of all of our four favorite peoples. He's so great. And then we're going to be talking about really, people on Facebook give me shit all the time. Oh, see, it's not communism, it's not liberalism. I'm thinking, are you listening to the news? Are you even watching? Look, I'm watching just the liberal news, and it sounds like communism to me. So, but anyway, on that note, I'm going to turn y'all over to Michael, and y'all go around, make the rounds, and introduce everybody, and I'll be back in about 2 or 3 minutes, people. So let me make myself disappear.
I'll take over while Joe goes to the bathroom. You know, when you get old like that, you got to take a lot of bathroom breaks, man. So, I mean, and as for Joe Biden, did you guys know that he was actually the guy, the kid on the cover of Cracker Jacks? The Joe Cracker Jacks, man?
Now you know why you like kids so much. Why you like
You
them so
tell
much.
you tell people that, and they're like, "What? What?" I'm like, "That's right, man." I don't know. How you guys doing out there? What are you doing? What's going on up there in Canada besides communism?
Besides that, we're locked down worse than before the beginning. Like everything is roped off. Like even if you could reach over the rope and grab it, cannot
Yeah.
buy it. It is the worst lockdown we've been in since this crap has started.
Well, there is a spike in the United States here. I was just looking at the numbers, and I know we're getting really busy. So, and there's, we expected it though, and there's kind of a rhythm to this thing. So, I guess you guys are going through a very similar thing, but you're more bold and brazen to lock everything down. We're trying to reopen everything here, So, but
We don't have a
but
choice,
you know what?
Michael.
Reopen to what? Like New York City, those offices are gone. They're not going to reopen. They're trying to shake it up and use that space for something else. But what's going to happen ultimately? I mean, and then I don't know. Even up there in Toronto, I mean, the rents are so expensive. I mean, you guys aren't really near. How far away are you from Toronto, really?
About 20
hour drive.
Oh, so you're
Val drives 16
really
hours,
far.
if I drive 20 by car, we got to go all the way around the lakes. We can't go through them. That's what the problem is. We're right in the center of Canada. You have to come through Thunder Bay to go out west, to go out east, to go down south to southern Ontario.
So if I want south from you, like directly as a crow flies, what state am I going to hit in the United States? Minnesota, right?
Minnesota is about 35 minutes away from the border. We're about 6 hours north of Minneapolis, Minnesota.
That's cool. I've never even thought about going up there, like in that area. I have a dream. I have a photographic dream of taking. There's a train that goes from Montreal to Vancouver, and I have. Probably not anymore. It was like a long time ago. I know it's kind of defunct, right? Like, or there's parts of it that still can go. But man, what wildlife you see up there, Canada! I was just talking to a guy that like used to go hunting up there and all that, and it's just so vast and huge, and you guys everything is so big, and I don't know, it's real wilderness, It's like the Rocky Mountains. You have that aspect, Everything else is a joke, like where I am in New York, upstate New York, or like the Adirondacks. People are like, oh, it's a big country. I'm like, no, it's not. It's like it's a park. It is. It's the Adirondack Park. I mean,
The big joke is there's a baby skunk last summer that every time Dell would leave, like one time I was sitting in the backyard, Dell, she was sleeping. I go, no, I wasn't. I was playing on my phone, 2:00 in the morning. I'm sitting there and I just made this really cool, looks like it's floating glass little fire pit to put on the table, right? So I'm enjoying that, playing on my phone. All of a sudden I'm sitting there and I feel this lick on my fourth left toe. And I'm going, oh, isn't that nice?
That's cute that Dell did that.
No, just right. I'm going, Emmy just licked me, meaning our dog. And I went, wait, Emmy's inside. What the heck is licking me? I looked down, frickin' skunk. Baby skunk.
Oh man, that's cute.
And then he got me in the front yard again. About 2 weeks later, Della just gone in after we were out for a fresh air break. So we get skunks, we get deer. Am I missing anything, Del?
No, we get lots of wildlife in that. Like you were saying there, like up here in where we are in Northern Ontario, is like as soon as you leave the city here of Thunder Bay, it's you start driving down Canada's national highway, the Trans Canada Highway, and all you see is trees. Whereas like in the States, when I go down to the States or used to go down to the States all the time for concerts and stuff like that, as soon as you get down to the States, all your roads and highways, it's like billboards going down the whole thing. Like you're always seeing houses and everything like that. And there's lots of stuff to see, but up here you get some parts of it, and all you see is trees for hours.
That's why people can see Sasquatches like so easily up there, because
obviously Dell's only been
there's
on the
nothing
East
else
Coast.
to look at. Well, that was an ass watch. What Dell did before, man. He put his booty.
I mean, you hit West Texas.
With them.
He put his booty up there. This delicious Dell booty. That's what I thought.
I know.
I
You
saw
know
like
what?
an
You should get him
advertising
some
on
shorts that say that. He could advertise his show. Putting in some shorts. The
delicious Dell's shorts.
Maybe like a pair of Apple shorts or something.
We can't see you. I'm going to give a shout out to people in the chat room over on YouTube. Remind them to
Am I
find
on
over
cam?
there to
Oh, there I am. Hello.
our UFO Paranormal Radio channel we're on. We've got our regular supporters of a lot of our shows on UPRN, Shadow Designs, and Zach Man. So welcome, everybody.
Hey, Zach, what's up, man? They oh wait, I'm not seeing any comments. Oh, there they are. Okay,
got the whiskey and cigars. So what kind of whiskey
I got
and
them in
cigars?
myself,
Wait. Like, let's say you're the president and you fall down like 20 times. What kind of whiskey and cigars do you want to like lift your spirits from falling down on your face?
I want some Thomason.
I think if you fell down, you probably want. I think if you fell down, and if you're at that point that you're falling down, you can serve that president anything, probably even dishwater.
Oh, our president, yeah. Oh, obviously, because he's an idiot. Oh no, I love Joe. Sorry, I can't call him an idiot. He's my namesake, man. I got to be nice to this guy. I'm gonna.
I bet they could give him dishwater and tell him it was some nice freaking like white wine or something, and he'd be like,
Well, you know, he thought his dog was a poodle, man.
Kids.
His son smokes Parmesan cheese and crack. I assume that's what he said.
Wait. I want to go back to how you think a German Shepherd's a poodle. I'm still confused by that. How do you confuse him? No, he's in an interview calling. He said he had a standard poodle. And
well,
I seen his dog. I was like,
by the way, smoking Parmesan cheese. If you smoke Parmesan cheese and crack, that is so like Italy ghetto. Do you know what I mean?
Ghetto Italy, man. A little olive oil sprinkled on for some extra smoke.
That's like Rome kind of ghetto.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're just kidding. Don't go home trying to put Parmesan on your crack.
Only mozzarella cheese.
Yeah, don't do that. But anyway, let me grab into a couple of these topics.
Instead of Cuomo.
What happens? What happens? You start smoking your crack through cannolis, man.
Yeah, okay, wait. Come on. Let me get into some of these now. First off, where is this damn thing? There it is. That's right. I can forget we can do screen sharing here. First off, I want to address the new communist state of Canada. So I'm a little confused. I really thought, we were discussing this with some other Canadian friends the other day, and they were under the misguided sense that they thought they had more rights than we did. And sometimes I think that some, but I know, but I only know this because of y'all and Michelle and Amelia. Because really and truly, as a dumb American, we were always kind of taught that Canadians had free run, could do whatever the hell you want, dance naked in the streets, whatever the hell, it didn't matter.
Yeah, that was the place to go get a Cuban
Yes,
cigars,
I mean, that's why all of our crazy
Canada.
people come to see y'all, because you can do anything you want.
Yeah.
Obviously, we find out that is not true in today's world, but
was very disappointing.
Yeah, and we're gonna get to our state in a minute, but I was going to ask you, I mean, how do y'all really feel about this? Because I know I was talking with the ladies the other night, and they're not real happy about it either.
Canadian flag is a red leaf.
We had freedom with there is that back in 1988 they passed a law, federal law, is that girls were able to walk around topless without being
thank God.
Penalized. That's the freedom that you have.
We don't. But no, we're not happy about it. I'm not happy about it at all because I'm the one that does all the shopping. And it's worse than it's ever been. Shadow Designs is in Ontario. She just added that she believes 300,000 small businesses have closed for good across Canada. And by the time this is done, it'll be way worse. One thing I do want to add is there's a hot mic incident. First of all, it was put together in a video recently I was looking at. I think I sent it to you, Michael and Dell. But anyways, at the end of it, it's got our wonderful Doug Ford, infamous almost twin brother of Rob Ford, who made the rounds as the mayor of Toronto doing crack and cocaine and whatever else. He's dead now. Anyways, he's on a microphone going, I have what leader of any country, so now he's the leader of Canada, I guess, wouldn't follow the directions of their health professionals. And then on the hot mic in it from a press conference, I didn't realize it was a hot mic. Two of our doctors after a press conference, one of the women's going, I don't know why I bring these papers. I don't even read them. And the other guy goes, well, sometimes I'll refer to the numbers. She goes, are you kidding? She goes, I just read whatever's on them. Whatever they put on there, I say it. And meanwhile, they flash back to Doug Ford saying he would be hung if he didn't follow his medical professionals. So there you go. Who's running the show?
Is he hung, really?
I don't want to ever know. Never.
He wouldn't necessarily be hung if he did that.
With that belly, he better be about 3 feet long, I'll tell you. I'm sorry, but I'm serious.
Well, there's no laws anymore, is there? The laws are whatever they say it is. And, I mean, really, obviously, there's no justice. There's no balanced justice, not in Canada, not in the U.S., not anywhere. It's just people serving, right? Nothing's ever changed. So whatever.
This is the one thing that I noticed watching on this latest interview. I think it was down there in Arizona or New Mexico or whatever. It was one of your governors. I guess they were signing this law, or they were voting on this law for or against about children able to chemically castrate themselves, and this guy was all for it. And it was on Tucker Carlson. He was talking to him, and so Tucker kept asking him, going, have you been approached by the Walton family? And the Walton family is the family that owns Walmart. Says, have you been given some sort of assurance or something like that? No, I haven't had any outside influence on this. And then you find out later, the next day, is that he's been offered a job after he leaves Congress or Senate or whatever he's in there, governor, as an executive position at Walmart. So you got to look at this and go, are a lot of these people that are in politics, that are up in upper government, only there to self-serve themselves, to give themselves good jobs? So they get in there, they pass whatever goofy law there is, like this Biden stuff there now with this gun registry or ghost guns and whatever, talking about this, so that they have this big, huge bank account when they leave office. They don't care what they do there because it doesn't affect them, because they're going to have millions and millions of dollars. And if you look at a lot of stuff, all these people that are in government and stuff like that, as soon as they leave government, they have multi-million-dollar jobs and multi-million-dollar bank accounts.
I'll tell you about guns, man. There's new technology, and we know what the typical, what people know, and what also what laws describe as, guns and ammo, what guns do. There's new guns like these plastic disc guns that are unbelievably lethal and worse than a bullet, because they just slice you open, all your veins and arteries and everything. You do. I mean, and they're illegal because they're not classified and they're not made of the same type of materials that these people look at. So I don't know. I think that's just gonna force people in different directions, And there's already millions of guns out there. You're not going to be able to take those off the streets.
Well, we have. Oh, go ahead, Michael. Sorry.
There's illegal guns. They're not concerned about those. You never, ever hear them talk about illegal guns. They're always talking about legal guns. You ever notice that when it comes to gun control, it's legal guns they're talking about, not illegal guns. The worst crimes are in New York City, Chicago, LA. You got the biggest street crimes with the illegal guns but they're killing black people. They're not killing anybody else. If that was some wealthy neighborhood, if that was Bel Air or something, you'd see how fast SWAT teams would lay down. If that was the North Shore of Long Island, and then boom, you had that kind of stuff going on. So there's definitely just misrepresentation in politics across the board. But then they act like there isn't. You
I was
know,
just
these
going to add, Michael, you asked Zach, you asked about the drinks and the cigars that you suggested earlier. I want to tell you that. And he's got a question.
give
He
them
said,
some.
I would drink, I'm going to probably screw this up, Lagavulin 16-year single malt scotch and smoke an Opus
Ooh,
X.
Lagavulin, man. I got some Lagavulin. I got Lagavulin 16 right now. I don't have any cigars though.
And Deli already answered the question in the chat. He wanted to know what a ghost gun was. So Del put the answer in there.
You know what Lagavulin is? Lagavulin is your grandmother's attic at her beach house that's been locked up for 5 years and it's 95 degrees out. It's like that salty, briny, heavy, dank. It's good stuff, man. If you like scotch, it's good stuff.
I like scotch. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, it's especially like, I don't know, especially if you're by the shore or something like that. But it's just it's that heavy duty scotch. But yeah, it's
Maybe
good.
Zach man's feeling
Like
salty. I
drinking
don't
a
blame him.
dirty root beer from a rubber boot while you're fishing on the coast.
That's so Canada.
I've never heard that one before. I said maybe Zach is feeling kind of salty right now, and I don't blame him because I'm feeling real salty tonight about this whole thing.
Oh, Joe lost his mic again.
Oh yeah, Joe, we can't hear ya.
Hold on, let's fix the damn thing. It's I want to know about crimes committed by ghost guns. I mean, we're gonna go through all this trouble to have to get people to register their ghost guns. I've never even heard of a ghost gun committing any big crimes anywhere. I really haven't heard him. I mean, I never even heard the police talk about him before. So I'm confused on why all of a sudden we have to have regulations for them.
Well, this
You
is
mean
the thing-
those
this is
power
the thing that
packs
they were
from
talking-
Ghostbusters?
This was the thing they were talking about. Is that this is just a pre-step to other regulation that they want to put through. And like you said before, these are executive orders and stuff like that he's writing, but they're being sent to be written up to cover whatever it is, and then sent to the House and the Senate and stuff like that. If this stuff ever goes to fruition, we don't know. But this is, you just see the pattern or the direction that the Biden administration is going towards, and it isn't towards what half the country really wants.
You know, I'll tell you about guns, man. I'm a gun person, but I don't go shooting all the time. And number one, it's very expensive. And if you go out there with your AR-15, that's 5.56. I mean, you know, you shoot a few hundred rounds of that, you're gonna spend a couple $100, maybe, more. You know, so it really is something that, even for self-defense, I mean, yeah, it's got its place. You know what makes me nervous? When the people who walk around with things like that in public because they can, but it's intimidating in a way where you're automatically, you feel like they're a little tilted to even do that in the first place. Because, like, I don't put pictures of my guns online. I don't brag about stuff. I don't get into that. But I know people that like really are into it, but I don't know. It scares people, is what it is. It scares a lot of people out there, and they feel like they can go off. And not only that, once you put a gun in public, somebody can run up and take that gun
That's
away.
what I was thinking.
I saw a picture of a guy who had 4 handguns that my friend posted, but he's sitting there with his big bald head right there. You just knock him on the head and take the guns, you know. But same for police officers, same for soldiers. One time I was at British Airways in the city at JFK, and then, you know, it was right after 9/11. Here are these 2 soldiers walking around with machine guns in the airport, right? And you say to yourself, you know, and then they broke up. One guy went to the men's bathroom. You know what? He's going to go in the men's bathroom. The other guy's alone. You know, a couple people could overpower them very easily, maybe even one person. And then, bang, you have a machine gun at the airport. That's my problem with these things to begin with. You know,
My problem was with him quickly. I was just going to add is when Joe Biden started speaking that the Constitution is not irrefutable. Basically, that it's we can change it if we want.
Yeah.
I mean, he did say that, right, Del? I didn't use the right words, but we were watching that. We both yelled, "No, it's not!" And we're not even from the U.S.
Okay.
How long has it been?
But
there?
it's the advantage of the country for people to own guns. They're already talking about getting a civil defense back together again, you know. And like, look at countries like Norway. You're born into a gun. The government trains you. They give you the gun. You own it for life. You pass it down to your family. You know, it's part of their culture, but it's part of their national self defense. So when they go after guns, it's just the Democrats reach into the pockets of people that hate guns, and then they get all scared and they go, here's more money for these gun laws. And every little inch they take, they're going to keep it, and they're going to keep going.
They did here, Michael, with that, and we had this mass shooting out in Nova Scotia. What was that, last November? Not this November, doll, wasn't it last winter?
Yep.
And
yeah.
all of a sudden, all this legislation appeared. Nobody knew about it. Just popped up out of nowhere that people with legal guns, there was, I think, 1,500 different types of guns that people legally have, that have to be turned now into the government within 2 years, or basically you'll be charged with a felony. And you have them legally.
So if the government wants to disarm people, it's not for the betterment of the country and the safety of the country. It's actually because they want to disarm you because they don't want you fighting back against them. That's the truth of it.
Yeah.
But let's talk about our Second Amendment for a minute, Mike. So, it's really weird how people don't really understand what the Second Amendment is about. But first off, what is a militia? It's generally an army of something or a fighting organization. It's non-professional soldiers, citizens of the country and stuff. That's what a militia is. It's not the National Guard. National Guard is a professional fighting organization. Right. The reason I bring that up is, let's see if we can switch this real quick. Whoops, I'm sending invites.
A well-regulated militia, which is how it's read, and that's the truth of it. It also, talks about basically protecting yourself, like, even against the government. I mean, there has been leaders. Look at Thomas Jefferson, who didn't trust the government, and he said that if these politicians aren't afraid of you, they're not going to represent you properly. Like they have to understand that there's something to lose.
See, that's what Michael was just talking about. That's the Second Amendment. The United States Constitution reads, a well-regulated militia may be necessary for the security of the free state.
That's right.
Run by the people and for the people. This is not the National Guard. This is what everybody screws up at when it comes to the Second Amendment. Not only are we supposed to be able to have military weapons, we're supposed to have automated rifles. We're even supposed to have access to heavy armored materials. See, you're supposed to have a militia that can control in case we're invaded or our government just loses its mind, for either case. But for some reason, that was turned into the National Guard, and that became a professional organization. That's still not a militia. National Guard is far beyond militia these days. So, when people start fighting the Second Amendment, they're fighting the wrong laws. Really, it does say you can't infringe on the people's right to bear arms. And you can't. You can't say they can. You can try to make all kind of regulations, but you still can't say they can't bear arms. So it's going to be hard for them to stop that.
A lot of these, what they're calling military guns, aren't even military guns.
No, they're not military guns. The AR-15 is not. Let's be honest about this. Soldiers, if anybody's been in combat situations or been in any real branch of the service, and you've shot real military rifles, come back and compare an M16 to an AR-15. I mean, it's like a pop gun, or even one of the M90s. I mean, it's like a pop gun.
They use them in combat, and the AR-15 has been around for a long time.
Yeah, but they don't really have any knockdown power.
But you got two of them. You got the AR-10, which is rounded. It's chambered in .308, and that'll definitely leave you with an impression. But the ammo also is very heavy. If you have, you're carrying a 30 rounds, per magazine, a couple, 3 or 4 or 5 of those, and the weapon that's heavy. AR-15 is light as can be. The ammo's light. It travels at 3 times the speed of sound, and there's something that is unbelievably deadly. That's why people like it. Like the AK-47. Remember how vilified the AK was, and because people used it to commit these horrible crimes. But even if you take it out of the equation, take the AR out, take semi-automatics out, you're still going to have Lee Harvey Oswald killed Kennedy supposedly by himself with an Italian bolt action rifle. Right? Got 5-6 shots off whatever the hell it was in a second and a half. So he knew how to shoot. He knew what to do. He knew what. He's not going to stop people from doing the act if they're nuts. They're going to find some other way. They're going to get into a truck and drive over people like these terrorists have, right? Dead is dead. Doesn't matter how. It just
More
matters
people
how
die
they
from
do it.
cars anyway every year than guns.
But there's a lot of sickos out there, man. You know what it is? It's the mental condition. I was just watching a video with Frank Zappa, and he said the one thing that scares me, he's like his mental health. He's like the mental health of the United States. This is back a long time ago. And he said the future of the United States is in danger because of the mental health. He's like these politicians, their mental health. He's like the people that run the machine. He is right. And that's where we are.
I think another big problem that they're going on is that they're using this term assault weapon, and that's a very generic term to call anything. Like anything can become an assault weapon. Like your kitchen knife in your kitchen, your car that you drive on the road, that's an assault weapon.
Even your ass, putting it on the screen as we start
yes,
up.
that was an assault weapon.
Assaulted. Joe and I are scarred, and we're still talking about it.
I'm really sorry I missed that.
I am scarred for life.
Well, you see it all the time.
I don't see it all the time.
You live with that ass.
I never see that.
Oh my God! I don't even hear this conversation. This is my conversation I just don't need to hear. Let's see. Wait. Who's stepping down? Oh, wait. The White House border czar is stepping down. Now, why is it her? Ooh, she is scary looking.
She is scary.
You know, sometimes you got to wonder about some of these things you see. Like, I love whoever put that meme up.
Oh, I have to share a horrible story with you guys. And I don't know if it's going to out me as a horrible person, but I don't care because life is short. I was watching TV one night, right? And I was pretty far out there. It was like 4:00 in the morning, and there was the pandemic's going on. And here's the head of the health department in Pennsylvania, and like there was a woman, and they're on TV talking, and I'm looking at, I'm like, Jesus God, I'm like, this has got to be the ugliest woman I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm thinking like my mind goes into this whole different direction. I'm like, couldn't they just find somebody else to put in there, like, and not this person? I had no idea that it was a transvestite. It was.
Well, how could you not? How could you not?
I don't know, because it was 4:00 in the morning and I was messed up.
Okay,
I already, had a little champagne and some cocktails. Woo! I was watching TV. I was like, oh my God.
Ear goggles.
Isn't that a horrible story? I was like, oh my God. But but Biden's appointing that. Didn't he appoint him to something or other? I don't know.
Yeah.
Biden's appointing everybody to somebody. He's just really basically, see, this is what I don't understand about liberals. It does tell me that they're not the brightest group out there, because the reason Trump got elected was because of a lot of Obama's bad appointments and bad decisions. And Biden just seems to think, okay, we'll just do them again. I'm like, Biden, what are you smoking up there? You know what? But pot is legal. And they got high grade stuff out there in D.C., so I don't know. Maybe he's got a good stash. Like maybe Obama turned him on.
I haven't stopped laughing since New York made weed illegal. I mean, Cuomo's doing everything he can. He's even sending people an apology letter before he even does anything. You know what I mean? Like I apologize.
Yeah, so
I apologize ahead of time.
I
used to say that. I used to walk into clubs in the cities like, I apologize ahead of time for stuff that's going to happen tonight.
Minority Report apology. That's what it is.
So what kind of cigar and whiskey can we have for an apology if you're the governor of New York State, man? Big, powerful governor.
Zach will let you know. Actually, he thinks a 12-gauge shotgun with buckshot is way more powerful than an AR-15, he said.
Yeah, good luck.
Oh, AR-15 is like a high-powered.
Good luck trying to shoot someone a mile away with a shotgun.
But if you hit them with AR-22, they're just going to bounce off them. They're like pop guns.
Are you crazy?
Dude, I've shot many AR-15s. They're like high-powered 22s.
I've got one.
And God help you if you got soft lead.
I've got one 2.5 feet away from me. There's one sitting 2.5 feet away from me. You know what I mean?
I would sell that to somebody. Go get a real gun.
I'm waiting for the price. I'm waiting for them to ban them, and my price to go up to like thousands of dollars. Man, I'm going to cash in, and then I'm going to get a couple of 40 millimeter Glocks. Man, how's that? Glocks are beautiful. You know what I really like? I really like bolt action rifles because they're the most powerful weapons in the world. And I love a 375 H&H mag. That's kind of what I'm looking at now, and just for target shooting. But the bullets are $1 a piece, man. It really is an expensive hobby.
That's because you live in hell. It's not $1 a piece down here.
Hell's pretty cold.
The thing of it is, You know, it was funny because all my friends have been telling me, all my friends up north and even out west are telling me they can't get ammo. And I'm driving down the highway today, la la la, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 gun stores. Yes, we have ammo. We have lots of ammo. Come on
I
in.
thought you guys
Zach
couldn't
Mann
even have a large
got-
capacity magazine down there.
Who?
Zach Mann's in Arizona. He said he had quite a bit put away. I think he said he got 500 rounds put away. That's what he had.
We're allowed to actually have fully automated weapons.
500 rounds is
we turn
nothing.
the
Sorry,
thing off.
Zach. Sorry to pop your bubble, buddy, but we're talking thousands of rounds. Every time Obama did something stupid, I bought another 1,000 rounds. You know,
Have something put away. Don't give him a hard time. I think that's pretty nice. That's
it's cute.
It's always good to have.
It's
Look,
cute.
it depends too what kind of gun we talking about here
At
too.
least you guys can have guns. We
Look,
can't.
True.
You give me
If
my
it's a 22, it's
you give me my Ruger 30-yard 6 bolt action, and then 500 rounds is plenty because that's.
you want to haul around 500 rounds of that? You see the zombie apocalypse shows.
I'm not going to haul that
You
around.
know-
My zombie on the leash is going to haul.
You know how
that around. What the hell
fast
are you talking
ammo
about?
runs out?
Oh, you're taking a page out of The Walking Dead.
Oh, look at The Walking Dead.
Strap it
The
to
guy-
the thing and take
No.
we're going bye bye.
Walking Dead, the guy with the crossbow. You try hauling. I have a crossbow. You try to haul that thing around in the zombie apocalypse. He would have been eaten on the first show.
Jimmy said, "What does that have to do with Biden announces gun control executive?" Actually, Jimmy, we just talked about that. We're getting ready to flip to another article. We were talking about some other stuff.
Okay.
Well, I thought he was going to appoint Beto, right? Wasn't that his whole thing?
No, what Beto's doing something else. I forgot. Well, I have to go look see now. Now you said it, but he's up to something.
Beto's doing high fashion. That's what he's doing.
He's
Zach,
doing
you want
something.
to know
Fashion.
You want to know your recommendation for Cuomo? He says that Michael Zachman says, I would have some Hennessy cognac and a Dark Shark cigar. Shadow decides I want to add this because she's right. We can't even have a water gun that looks real. That's true.
Cuomo wouldn't drink Hennessy. He would drink that Macallan or something, like a 25-year Macallan. He would be in that $6,000-$7,000 a bottle range.
You asked
You know what I mean?
his suggestion. He gave
Oh,
me
that's
my-
but he has to think top shelf, man. He can't think like like poor people like us. He's got to think like rich people like Cuomo. This guy's rich, man. He's drinking down the good stuff.
Zach,
you know?
you resigned
Yeah.
from being our
He's prob-
co-worker
No,
tonight.
that's not true here, Michael. Know what he's probably doing? He's probably got the expensive bottle and it's filled with the cheap stuff there to make it look like he's a
Please
poser.
don't tell me he doesn't know how to slum with the rest of them.
I guarantee that he has Cuban teenagers in his basement rolling cigars for him right now as we speak, man. We're talking about Cuomo here. This dude is he's like a mob guy, kind of, but he's not, kind of. And then here he is, like, breaking all these laws, but here he is getting pissed at people for breaking laws. I don't know when to like him and when not to like him.
Do what I say. Do as they say, not what I do.
I don't believe kissing a woman's hand is an overt move, sexual move against them. I mean, especially a dude from that era, because that's the way guys were, man. You know, you comment, you say someone's pretty. Now, God forbid, say that shit to somebody. Get blown away.
Next time you're in Arizona, Michael, your cigar is on Zach, he says.
Ooh, and I'll bring the whiskey.
He'll bring the whiskey. There you go, Zach.
You know what tell Zach, you know what I really want to try is that there's like balcones, man. That Texas, that black whiskey. Ooh, I gotta try that.
Well, Zach's listening. He's in the YouTube chat, so that's why I'm reading the comments. So
I'm actually going to Austin to hang out with these whiskey guys, man. They do a show called the Whiskey Vault, so I'm gonna go and chill out with them for a couple, and then learn about the whole thing.
Well, whatever you do, don't express your political views while you're in Austin.
I'll be too busy tasting whiskey and having.
I'm just telling you, they're a little weird down there in Austin, man. They're a little weird. They're hardcore liberals down there.
I know a chick in Austin. She got all mad at me and unfriended me because I was a Trump person, even though I really wasn't. Then she friended me again because she felt bad not talking to me. I'm like, you're so emotional.
I don't know.
That's
liberals, man. You see,
that's
that's liberals. Liberals function in emotion, whereas conservatives don't. Conservatives function in reality, of point A to point B. But that's like
they've been talking about a lot there with Austin, Texas. Is that a lot of people from California have left there and gone to Austin? That's their
Yep.
Austin's been a liberal city since it was founded. It's nothing. It's Texas, and part of Houston is Texas's liberal cities. That's where the liberals go hang out. And thank God they only concentrate in those areas. But that's where they want to be. And Austin is a really cool city. It's a really pretty city.
I don't
It's in the
know,
middle of
man.
the desert,
If
but
Texas could go blue, you don't think Texas could go blue?
not anytime soon.
It seems like it.
No, what you're going to have to worry about is Florida might go blue and New York might go red. It's going to be a little weird. It doesn't really matter because they got about the same vote, so it doesn't really matter if they flip.
The only reason why Grandpa Munster is still in there is because of Trump put him in there, and that's it. Otherwise Cruz would have been skidding right down the road. So, I mean, the Democrats will be able to outspend them. They know what they're doing. They just bide their time. They're waiting. They're nagging like a wife or something. They take your time, nag, destroy your confidence, and kind of make you just do utility.
Not everyone nags.
Just saying. Just saying. I'm not generalizing. Am I?
I know. You know what it is? I hate nagging.
I actually got certain people in mind when I say these things.
I know you do.
I wish we had some kind of mental vision, just like I put those flashes up. But yeah, you gotta be free. Be free.
Be free.
They talk about freedom there. Just in what they've done in Montreal in Canada is they've gone back to an 8 p.m. curfew. You can't be out past 8 p.m.
Martial law.
Like COVID knows what time it is. This is how things are getting so crazy in Canada.
Montreal's changed though. It's so young now. I like the vibe. I always like Montreal. It's an awesome place, man. And Toronto's I can't believe how expensive it's gotten. I have friends up there that just tell me what the rents are and whatever. I'm like, oh my God. And they say it's because of the illegal immigrants that came in and that it kind of tilted the scale. They're getting free places and these other guys have to pay through the nose.
Our city here, our two official languages in Canada are French and English. We got a flyer in the mail the other day, mailbox, that had French, English, and Farsi, because our whole city is completely our population is, I would say, probably anywhere you go, you will be very, and I'm not racist in any way. It's just that there's no Caucasian people working. And then what's happening, which we found out, is that these are all immigrants that are coming here, but the people that are employing them, so they're taking all the jobs, they only are paying these people they're employing about, I've heard, between 30 and 50%. The rest us taxpayers pay for. The rest of the wages.
They just appropriated, Cuomo did, a couple of $1 billion, man, to pay for lawyers for ex-cons and illegal aliens in New York that are being either kicked out, put in jail, or evicted out of the country, deported. So,
well,
crazy.
Actually, Shadow Designs had to go, but she brought up a good point when she was talking to me today. We have a real situation going on with this church in Alberta that has been taken over by the RCMP and the police, and it's got a whole bunch of different levels of fencing up. And she mentioned, and I thought about this, and she might be right, because we're getting quite a few of your people coming through the border, through Texas and everywhere else. She said, watch them use that church to house these people that are coming up here and process. And meanwhile, the people that are there can't go to the church. They can't. The pastor isn't allowed to get into the building. It's crazy.
And they're all Chinese. Ha ha ha.
No,
Here they come.
Here
they come. Yeah, but maybe they're getting ready for that. I don't know. I don't trust Canada, though. I don't trust Trudeau and the people who back him. I mean, because, it's not him. He's just an idiot puppet. But there's people who back him that are very powerful, like George Soros and whatever. And they know that.
Soros is dead. Who cares about Soros? He's dead.
They know that's a push.
I'm more interested in these guards frying chicken in front of this guy.
Well, Prince Philip died today, but at least they announced his
death.
He did. God knows how long he's been dead, but
99 years old. He kicked the bucket. Adios amigos.
No adrenochrome. That's what the problem was.
Didn't he just kill people with his car recently? Like he pulled into the road and like he just pulled into the highway and like killed a bunch of people, right?
No, I don't think that was him. I don't think that old bastard's driven him forever.
No, that was him. It was him a couple of years ago. He pulled right in front of these people.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah, he pulled right in front of these people and killed them.
Yeah.
He just bolted out of his driveway.
It's an interesting thing going on here, and this is just a theory that's out here, and this is just something. But since this whole thing with this COVID-19 stuff there that's gone on here, and then this whole rush for the vaccine, And like China had a vaccine out a year ago that they were actually using in China and giving out to other countries as well. That came out before the new vaccines came out. But since the new vaccines came out and they started injecting into people, we've had this increase in variants that have come out there. So you got to ask the question, and this is just part of a theory, is that by having this vaccine, that you've actually created these people that have been vaccinated to become super spreaders of a new variant.
Well, you see, right now you have, like here in the States, the UK variant, which is the dominant one. And it's way more infective, infectious than the others. But also, you have the Brazilian variant, and then you have the South African variant, and they're both really clobbering the vaccine. And then they're saying, even Fauci said the vaccine may be 85% effective against the UK variant, and they don't really know. Way less effective against the others. And on top of that, there's going to be booster shots. They haven't decided what, when, where, how, and whatever. Because right now, if you get the shot, you get 90-day immunity. But what happens after? That's only 3 months. What happens after
But
3
Michael,
months?
there's a lot of people that have had the shot and a week or two later are coming down with a strain of this. So I don't
They
think
closed down 2 sites for the Johnson & Johnsons today.
Colorado
Yeah,
shut
because
down.
people were becoming sick, and then you know what's funny? The doctors immediately jumped out and said, "Oh, but it has nothing to do with the vaccine." Well, I mean, take the vaccine, out of the equation. Then how do these people get sick? Obviously it had to do with the vaccine, and they don't know what yet. But why jump to it and just deny it? So it's very transparent and scary the way they're trying to push things. And I work in this industry basically, and I mean, for the most part, the people that got the vaccines, nothing happens to them. They have only a few side effects, but we're not seeing the long term. We're only seeing it now, and in the couple of months that
I
people have been
think I
getting them.
sent you a video, Michael. You should take a look at it because there's some pretty scary stuff happening.
Oh yeah, there is. I mean, the thing's mutating and mutating and mutating, and but it could also mutate where it's inert. There's that too.
I'm not talking about the disease. I'm talking about the shot.
What's even scarier, believe it or not, because I'm getting these certificates and all these things right now, is the micro like the micro bugs, the bacteria that's becoming super bugs, and all these things that are 99.9% effective in killing them has just made them stronger. So now they're saying they're at a tipping point, and then that's going to be the next big pandemic.
Yeah, but no, you know
supposedly.
what, Michael? Superbugs have always been around. Like when you're in a hospital,
Oh, sure.
like MRSA and
MRSA, staph, yeah.
there's TB made a comeback, even while polio, all these things are all coming back. And it's been an issue since even when I went into nursing 35 years ago, it's always been an issue. And part of this, they theorize, is when you did have a coronavirus, meaning a cold, because that's what a cold is that, doctors used to hand out antibiotics like candy, right?
Yep.
And,
oh, yeah. Still.
Mhm.
Yeah, still. No regulation.
Mhm.
Right?
So
not here in the States anyway. In some places there's no regulation for pain meds. I mean, in a place like Ithaca, they actually have organizations that will hand out Xanax to you if you go in there and you tell them that you have anxiety, and they'll just give a prescription. You have it filled, the government will pay for it, and these guys are taking them and selling them for $8 a piece on the street and snapping their drugs, and it doesn't get addressed. So
look at the state of Florida. That was like what that was. That's where everybody went there to go get their pain meds.
But I mean,
documentaries on that. Actually, it's a really good one called Screwball, and it was all about Canseco and Jose Canseco and that. And it was actually a really good documentary. Anybody out there wants to go and check it out, and it all talks about how these doctors basically people are just shopping around for doctors, and people are picking up whatever the Dilaudid or Superdol, all those types of drugs like that, like 1,000 pills a day, then going up and selling them out elsewhere.
Well, remember Rush Limbaugh, right? I mean, he was supposedly taking over 100 OxyContin a day, and you can't, you'd be dead. There's no taking.
Not necessarily, because
100 a day.
Michael, believe me, I'll talk to you. I'll share something with you off the air, not on the air, but I can tell you right now what happens when you start taking these. Your body develops a tolerance, and you
Oh
end up
yeah, but 100 a day.
more
Yeah,
and
100 a
more.
day is possible. Yeah, if you've been taking them for a couple of years
I
there,
have seen people with certain disease processes when they've got very, very bad pain that are taking 750 milligrams of codeine cotton like 4 times a day. That would be enough to kill an elephant. And they're walking, they're driving, because they built up a tolerance. Like, though, if you took that right away, like Joe Blow off the street, absolutely, you drop dead. But you can build up a tolerance to it. It's not hard.
I'm not buying it. 100 a day. I'd have to see that. I'd have to see that data.
What is that? 4 an hour? That ain't horrible. 4 an
That's
yeah,
hour.
not hard at all.
4 an hour.
Yeah,
yeah.
100 a day, 4 an hour, 24 hours.
If you're eating them 24 hours a day like M&Ms,
I'm just saying, man. It's 100 a day, man. You know, just people. I had friends that would pop 6 at a time, so you know,
I have
just
looked after people on pain pumps that would be equivalent to that and much, much more. You would not believe it. That
If you're dying of cancer, you might be able to do 100 a day. But if you're
I
just an
wasn't
ordinary person, it's going to kill your ass for sure.
Yeah, no, it's
what about Rush Limbaugh? I don't even know how the guy was functioning. How do you do a 4-hour show and be popping all those
Because
oxycontin?
man, most of the people I know who do like 4 or 5 of those, or they get hyped up, man. They get pumped up. It's like speed or coke to them, man. It has the same effect. And people, we're not advocating drugs. Don't do drugs. It's bad for
I'm
you.
happy
Just
with
say
espresso.
no.
I'm happy. Let's have some espresso.
No, Mike, you're
Yeah.
not allowed to have espresso anymore. You're banned from espresso.
Michael.
Yes, you're right. He's banned.
Who's
Nathan.
that?
Do
Who's
not
that on
send
the air
him
that
no
was with us?
espresso.
Who was that on the air with us? And she was like coffee has more caffeine than espresso. She always make these crazy statements, and I don't even say anything because there's like no point anymore.
Because you're crazy.
Who was that? I can't even remember.
I have no idea.
But I mean, yeah, espresso's got a hell of a. If you're ounce for ounce, espresso's got a lot of freaking a lot of caffeine, and it's good. It's good.
It's bad, man. It's bad for you, man. Bad.
Love espresso. And I took 2 espressos and I put them in a cup of coffee and I drank it down before I went on the air. So that I used to drink this stuff called Jolt Cola. You ever hear of Jolt Cola?
I ain't drinking nothing called Joe Cola, man.
It was
it
says all the sugar and twice the caffeine. It was Jolt Cola.
They actually had to go and pull that off the shelves there at one time there because it was too much caffeine and sugar in the whatever that was in that stuff.
Well, yeah, because if you drink a couple bottles of that in a day and then have some like a pot of coffee, you're blasting off. And you don't need a spaceship to get to Mars, man. You're there.
You're wired for sound.
Oh yeah.
I used to work with this one guy there. He used to, those little 5-hour energy drive or those little shots there. He'd slam like 5 of those like in a minute, eh? And
we used to eat no-dos.
For about an hour.
Remember no-dos back in the day? My friend and I would go up to the truck stops, and the truck stops would have all these things you could take, like to stay awake. Like boom, and it was all caffeine based, I guess.
Have that stuff here. You can buy it right on the shelf.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Spanish Fly. Got to pick up some of that.
No-dos.
Cuban coffee is a caffeine bomb. Have you had Cuban coffee? I've never had it, so.
Cuban. I've had coffee from everywhere. You know what? The best I've ever had is from Cambodia, and you drink the grinds and everything because it goes down to a fine powder. The richest, the best, and you couldn't even buy it here in the States because it's so expensive.
All right, back on topic. We can get coffee anywhere.
We're talking about coffee, man.
That's not a topic. You don't have to coffee topic.
Okay, so
what happened to Folger's Dark?
Did you get that?
Boy, just don't host it.
About Biden with the border stuff then that guy was down there in Texas filming all that stuff, Joe? Because I asked you if we didn't have anything else. I knew we would have stuff to talk about, but I knew we'd be talking about Biden because they didn't give $86 million to ICE and what they're doing with this money.
Well, we actually going to talk about the border, but I want to talk about it.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
No, that's okay. That's okay. That's good. They The thing of it is we've got a president now who wants to end the filibuster, change the Supreme Court and the federal courts. He wants to add 6 members to the Supreme Court. Oh. So that would give them a 9-6 advantage in the court. I'm not even sure how that would even be legal. I guess they think, we can vote on it in the Senate in 51 votes. I don't see why any party should be allowed to change that rule without a majority, like 3/4 vote. No,
Well,
this
changed
seems
that,
like
But
right? They did only
there's a
changed
problem.
over
See,
50%.
the Republicans have become ineffective, right? And then, but inside the Democratic Party, you have this war going on between these different factions. I mean, how many factions are there? 4 or 5? I mean, there are so many, and they're just not getting along on anything. And it's bitter. It's only a few months, man, into his administration. It's bitter. It's bitter. And then as that time goes on, ooh, it's going to get worse. Going to get worse. Wait till the next election cycle when you really see it. When you see Republicans replacing Democrats all over, and then that'll balance the power out again, right?
See, this is the thing that was actually talked about when about what the George Soros, the OSF, the Open Society Foundation, does is that they come in, they put people into different positions of government to go and change around the structure of government, and you should see like well you are seeing what this President Biden is doing. He's trying to rewrite your constitution, rewrite your court system, rewrite laws that stand there. He's got this whole mentality that as long as he doesn't see it, it doesn't exist. Uh, like you got like you said, you got the border problems, you got gun control. Hey, this is what it is. I don't care what that says. I'm going to write this new, and I'm going to put the people into position that will pass this stuff through.
But they didn't realize
Nut bar.
they didn't realize one thing though, is that people are greedy bastards. And no matter if you're a Democrat or Republican, you're always going to have people. Yeah, you'll have the Democrats that are lofty, very liberal. They want to free everything free and whatever. Those aren't the realistic ones. The establishment ones are the realistic ones about stuffing money in their pockets. You know, Auntie Maxine there, you know, and she was chanting to get rid of Trump and get into people's faces. She was voted the most corrupt politician 4 years in a row by a non-biased group because she bailed out her husband's bank during that whole time, and you know she just fed tons of money into her own family, stuffed her own pockets. All these people, they're dirty, and you got to follow the money, right? But now you know the AOCs. She's all idealistic. She's tasting money too. She's starting to live the good life right now also. But she still wants to free the babies, even though she still to this day has not represented anyone in her district in Queens of the Bronx. No one. And then those people need representation because there's a lot of poverty going on there. You know, and COVID-19.
How weird.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know where she is? She's in the city.
Look at all these people that are in government. Like I said, all those people that are in government, they're in there to go and sign deals and push things through to set up for their next job. And
Oh yeah.
account.
Oh yeah. Just like people at the FDA, they know that they can skate right into the Cattlemen's Association after their job and have their big cushion.
Yeah.
Oh. Michael has been probed.
Uh-oh.
The alien stopped off, snatched him up. We have witnessed an alien abduction live on the air. Oh my God.
Came for him. He was saying too much about her. That's what happened.
No, that's definitely Benetti came down to get him.
Ooh.
I'm hoping she ain't acting as the Grim Reaper there, Michael. You better watch out, baby. Anyway, it was.
What are you guys gonna do? Well, I should ask. What are you guys gonna do about Biden? Because it's no better here.
Well, I know if he tries to change the Supreme Court, it's gonna probably start a damn revolution.
President Kamala.
Oh, there he is.
There he is, President Kamala. Actually, I noticed Biden's been pushing Kamala out more and more. He might be trying to get rid of her.
Good.
I think he might have decided he don't like her.
Did you see the thing that he put this whole speech together that, hey, well, the border issue is going to be Kamala's stuff there, and everybody thought that she was going to go and address the issues at the border, but actually what she was sent down there to do is to be a PR person.
Actually, the truth of the story is she said no. She said she's not going to do it. It's not her job. I've never seen a vice president ever tell a president no before, but she actually said no. It's not her job because she knew it's a disaster. That's why the other woman's stepping down. That's no easy fix down there. They effed up bad, and I don't know how they're going to fix that. And they can't just keep letting people in the country because now they're pointing to COVID coming through the bottom of the border.
I see that there's an example of trafficking. And again, I'm not a fan of Alex Jones. This was something that was sent to me. But I really think he did catch something on camera and caught it and stopped the guy, called the police over there, cramming all these little kids into the back of this vehicle. This guy had nothing to do with anything where they were supposed to be going. And I thought, how many more kids has this happened to? They don't speak the language. They don't know where
Well,
they're
that's the point, and that's why we have to quit. And the Democrats, for some reason, don't want to think about these kids being dropped off and dropped over the fences and who's picking them up. These kids are probably being sold on the other side and said, "Hey, we're going to drop off this kid for you. Go pick him up at the border." They're probably being sold into slavery, and for some reason, the Democrats just refuse to even think about what's going on down there. They just think they're all going to be voters if they can get them in the country, and most of them don't vote anyway. They've proven that most illegals don't vote because they're scared they might get arrested.
See,
I think that
they got all these little kids coming over there, and just the topic and stuff that was going on a year ago about these huge pedophile rings of these elites and high up wealthy people and millionaires, billionaires that are in America. So you got all these free South American young children coming over that are disappearing at the border. Nobody wants, the Democrats don't want to talk about what's going on with the border because then the light gets shine on them. Like they were even talking about that Pazaki there, or whatever her name is, that nut bar that she's going and says, yeah, well, there's already been money that's been allocated for the wall, and we have to keep on going with that to fix the holes that are in the wall. But then Biden said, we're not doing any. We're stopping all construction on the wall. The wall is stopped construction.
Yeah, but then the state said
people are going through the holes.
Yeah, but then the state said Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona, and I think actually Nevada told the president, "Yeah, we're going to finish these walls. We need the money to finish them."
Yeah, exactly.
He said we got to close the gaps. We got too many people coming through the gaps. So the president actually going to have to give them the money for that, unfortunately for him.
Right. And
plus the court said the other day that the way he did it, that and the Keystone Pipeline was probably illegal. So that's going to get challenged for a while.
No, but they're saying by this time next year, there's going to be at least 2 million people that have come over the border. They get $1,200 in cash per person. They get it with a banking card. They're flying apparently to whatever state they want of their choice. I watched all this on camera, by the way. This is not.
Yeah, but I was listening to the Texas governor today. He was talking about this. He said a lot of what you're seeing is not actually what's going on. He said the majority of people aren't getting into the country because Texas don't want to process them, and neither does New Mexico.
Well, they're going to that, Joe. They're going to that Catholic, whatever.
But they still have to be processed by the local government.
Watched, they followed them to the airport.
Yeah, he said probably 1 in every 10 that come to the border are getting in, which is still a lot of people. Don't get me wrong; it's still a lot of people, but compared to what's actually there.
Kids are the ones that are getting through. Those are the ones. But what concerns me, I've watched the coyotes drop kids over, little ones over the wherever they're dropping them over. Those are the ones that are getting lost in the shuffle, and that's the scary part.
Yeah, some of them are getting picked up by the Border Patrol, and some of them, they don't get to them in time because there's actually people out there looking for them kids.
All
that could be stopped if they leave the Border Patrol do its job.
We all have love in our hearts. I like to think anyway, especially us right here, And if someone knocked on your door and they were hungry, especially if they had kids, who could refuse that? Who could refuse helping somebody like that? Of course you would,
Take your heathen children out of here.
So the United States, these people are live in abject poverty and the crime and all the stuff that goes on. Instead of us using our resources to help their countries help themselves, you have this exodus from those countries of people coming here. Mexico doesn't want it because a lot of these people aren't even Mexican. They're coming through, from El Salvador.
People, your own American citizens and Canadian that are walking around the streets, families with all their belongings because of what's happened to their business and stuff. We got to look after our own first.
Well, that too, But I think that there's a place where we can help people and then help ourselves and not overextend ourselves, no matter if it's Canada or the U.S. or whatever country, But it's the sorrow in my heart that these people are suffering like they do, and it's hard because we have a lot, even poor people in this country have a lot compared to these guys. We can help them with the gang problem. We can help them get on their feet, and helping them with their gang problem is helping us because those gang members come here. You know what I mean? So I just never understood all these years why we really don't focus our efforts militarily and help El Salvador and those countries down there and Honduras get their act together and help them with
Because there's
influx of
nothing to
business.
be gained, Michael, from it. There's
They
nothing
can
to be gained from it.
they can have an influx of business. Yeah, I mean, sure, but there is it's humanity, and helping one another. It's our own personal security, and I know that insecurity sells. I know that when people are in danger, politicians love it because it writes policy. So there's an evil side to it. I'm just saying that if we wanted to solve the problems, we could easily.
Yeah, well, we don't. It's just like why we don't cure a lot of things, because it's easier just to give you a pill every day.
Yeah, I was reading a story about Dr. Dre. You know Dr. Dre, right? The rapper, So he's going through this big divorce with his wife, Nicole Young. They've been married quite a long time. He made her, he had her, asked her to sign a prenup beforehand, and she, gleefully signed it on their wedding day or thereabout. And then now they're divorced and they're going through a divorce. So right now she's getting temporary support of $2 million a month. And just for her own spousal support, not even anything else. I'm thinking $2 million a month, right? $2 million. Then she's saying he abused me and whatever. And, there's never been any reports of that. Never. This is just her trying to shake things up, and it's just that's money. Look what it does to people. You know what I mean? And look at all these people crossing the border. Imagine $2 million a month for one person to run around.
I'm sorry, Michael. I'm still going to go back to, because I worked in one of the poorest parts just in our city alone. And how I see how people live like that, we need to be looking after our own. And I can tell you, Shadow Design said 300,000 businesses right here in Canada already. And what we're going through is in Quebec, is in Ontario. Manitoba went through this forever. Alberta's going to be getting this, and it's going across the whole country. So there's going to be way more people that maybe had a thriving business a year ago, young families especially, and they're out walking the streets with all their belongings. They've lost.
But most, as well as I do, most of those people in the streets have drug and alcohol problems, and that's why they're there. And they burned every. I mean, the people that I've seen around Ithaca, these are the same people that have always been out there.
I'm not talking about regular homeless people. I'm talking about people that have never been homeless. They've lost their businesses. They've lost everything because of what's going on right now.
COVID-19 has affected people. I don't know if Canada's taking care of anybody. I mean, in the United States, there's money available for people
with their belongings.
Yeah, in the United States, there's money available. Isn't that funny? How it's not funny that Canada was, like what Joe said at the beginning of the show, like landed free. And that's how a lot of people here thought that. And I used to always say, like, not really, because I know that there was no free speech up there. Like I know back in the day, I remember it was Madonna who was harassed by the morality police when she was going to do a show. And I thought that was really wow, the morality police. This is like in the 90s, And who has morality police?
We don't have morality police. It would have been regular police force. But how many times you heard Del say that when you get money from our government, they get every penny back, right, Del?
Yep, that's the thing. And another thing I would say there, Michael, too, is that if you've ever watched any shows on YouTube and stuff like that, where they've had people go out and ask Americans about other things that are happening in American states and stuff like that, a lot of Americans don't actually know what's going on in their own state or the state next door.
That's true too. Mm-hmm. That is definitely true.
That's the big problem, is that people get so focused in on their little bubble that a lot of people don't know what's going on 100 miles down the road from them. They think everybody's exactly having the exact same situation that they are, which is not true. And that's even up here in Canada too. We notice that a lot. People think that what's happening on the West Coast is the same thing that's happening on the East Coast, or like here, Northern Ontario to Southern Ontario. Totally different things happening here, but all the same rules from government going across on all of them. And they affect people differently for their situation.
A good portion of our homeless, I can tell you, is mental health issues. There is drug and alcohol abuse, but a lot of it is mental health issues. I can tell you that beyond a shadow of a doubt.
So the morality police in Canada, their job was to enforce the morality of women. and they would measure skirts and hems and hand out tickets.
Well, I hate
So,
to tell
but
you,
they
but I lived through that.
The hell, how long ago was that? Like 100 years ago?
1913. But they ended the
100 years
police.
ago. All right.
Yeah, they ended the police, but not a lot of
Get a new
laws.
book.
So a lot of the laws stayed on the books and regulations, and they were able to apply that against things that they didn't like, whatever province they were in, and and railroad
We
people.
don't have any morality police. They may have labeled it morality police with Madonna.
said back in
but regular
1913.
police force that went after her. I remember that in the news.
Because she broke morality laws, and that was like the whole hubbub. You know what I mean?
No, I think she was.
It's
Just
Madonna.
because she wanted to show a little TNA, man.
It's
That's
Madonna.
Oh, Billy Joe. Oh, no, it is politics tonight. Sorry.
I think she still looks good, Madonna. She looks like an
Just on
old,
this show.
aged tunnel bunny.
That's
You know
what
what I'm talking about?
Chrome does for you. Hey, Keeganator, welcome.
So, according to this,
Zach, what kind of whiskey and cigar for a tunnel bunny?
Mike, you come up with the best names. And you're gonna give him a hack. What do you suggest? You always ask him, then you give him a hack. poor Zach. He's a real sweetheart.
anyway, let's see. $100,000.
I'm thinking Philly Blunt and Night Train.
Right. I can already tell. Actually, Mike must have been drinking coffee again tonight. Get back on topic of it.
I have been drinking coffee, by the way.
That's what I'm saying. You must have been drinking coffee. Get back on topic.
A little bit of half and half in there, man. Ooh.
So 100,000 businesses closed permanently so far, and averaging 10,000 a month for the next year.
Where?
U.S.
Oh.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
are homeless, right, Joe? Did they get into that? Like a lot of people are.
There are people losing their homes.
Yeah, you don't want to be homeless in Canada. That's cold, man. It's too cold up there.
Fortunately, if you're a renter, you're still kind of safe. But if you're a homeowner, no, man. If you're not working, you're screwed.
Just go into the priesthood. For that. Go into the priesthood. Just
you can't bring your kids and your wife in the priesthood. They're like, good. Go for that.
Good, even better. Get some peace and quiet.
No. I like my wife and my kids, man.
They got brandy in the priesthood. I'll take that. Some monks. Monks aren't that bad. Monks got a whole different world.
You didn't bring up the religion of the spaghetti monster, but I guess that's for another night with politics if we get into religion.
So they're estimating.
I'm actually a Rastafarian. Did you guys know him?
Yeah, we're right. They're estimating 53% of our businesses will close.
I'm actually serious. I've been
Canada, they estimating
60%
of their businesses.
1987 it was.
That's where we sit now. So Mike ain't gonna get a job because with 60% of our business is closing, 60% of y'all's closing. Nobody getting a job.
South, Joe, or are you talking about?
No, they're talking about in the U.S. 53 or 60% of all of our businesses are going to close. They're saying 60% of yours is going to close. All 60. That's a lot of business. That's a lot of people.
Well, Canada doesn't have that many people. See, like the U.S., at least we have lots of people and there's lots of income, different income.
Yeah, but 60% is hard. That's going to be hard to fix.
Canada's got less people in California, man.
Well, you know what, Joe? Just even going to, we have one big mall. I mean, we only got about 100,000 people, and almost every store in that mall was closed. We're even talking big box names or like 70, 90% off, trying to sell their stuff because they're going to close. It's going to be a ghost town here.
I think Biden should build a wall between Canada. I think we should embrace our Mexican friends.
Yeah, I've been saying that for years. We need to put a wall up there by the Canadians.
You guys better get down here. Because we're going to shut the door.
We can't cross the border right now.
No reason for us to go up there. You know that, right?
I was talking with Justin yesterday, and he said y'all can come across. You just can't come back for 2 weeks.
Can't come back, yeah.
No, he said you can come back for 2 weeks.
No, they put you in some crazy hotel for $2,000 is what they do, man. It's not even a hotel. They put you
Justin
put you in slum housing.
Because it's Laura Lee and Dell. They could go back to their house.
They put you in a condo lodge. It's like a $2,000.
He actually respectfully said if we'll stop calling him Justin Castro in the pink shorts that he would do.
Oh, you know what I saw today? That was hilarious. It was a picture and it was done Photoshop so amazing. It was him with Doug Ford. So our premier or governor of Ontario for you guys for governor. Anyways, they had the best clown makeup on. They looked like it had actually been applied and they were wearing these outfits. It was amazing.
We passed a law in the South. If you're over the age of 12 and you're dressed up like a clown, we can shoot you.
Really?
Yes, because it's creepy and we shoot people that look like clowns down here. I'm just telling you, so y'all know, don't come down here looking like a clown, people.
Oh, you know what? Even worse, we round you up and deliver you to Congress. We lock
If
you in there.
if y'all ever seen the movie Easy Rider, that's what's going to happen to you if you dress up like a clown down here. So
Get your
probably
motor
you might be
running.
you might be alligator fed or something. I don't know.
I could see why though, Joe. And I'm not trying to get off track here, but just quickly, there was a trend there a couple of years ago. Remember all those videos and doorbell cams and stuff? People were dressing up like clowns and then just showing up. It was gross.
Yeah,
Well,
for
dressing up like
Halloween.
that. A
Remember, it was
lot of them were
Halloween.
dressing, yeah, but a lot of them were dressing up from clowns from a specific movie.
It was election year for Trump. It was Halloween, and then people were just making people even more crazy, like with bizarre behavior.
Oh, so I hear Trump's favored to be our next president. I'm like, what? What happened to DeSantis or DeSantis, whatever his damn name is?
He's supposed to be
Exactly. That's what happened to him. He couldn't even remember his name.
He's
He's like a crappy used car salesman.
I want to call it. Well, yeah, but he's the most popular guy in the country right now. It's so if he stays like that, he's an easy one. That's why I don't know why Trump even brought his name up in it. Currently, right now, if he stays on track where he is, where his state's running, how good it's doing, and everything, he's going to be an easy front runner for it.
What's
And
going on in Florida? I don't even know because
Florida's rocking,
no one
dude.
talks about Florida really.
You know why? Because it makes the liberals look like idiots. It makes New York and California look like idiots. So he's fully open, has a lower count on COVID than either one of the other two states with comparable populations. And he's got spring break going on for now 5 weeks, and the COVID is still going down. So their state is 50% vaccinated now. They're just rolling through it. He said in the beginning, he's safe though. His old people, there have been virtually no deaths of old people in the last like 4 or 5 months. He locked everything down. He put all their resources there. He didn't put anybody into places like that. And wait, this is what he did different than everybody else in the country. So instead of putting people in there that had COVID, he didn't do that. And any old people that were recovering from COVID, he actually made a separate nursing home for them to get better in before they were put back into the general population in a whole separate building. He was not playing around with his, because that's Florida's money is the old people. I mean, they all go down and they retire. It's a third of their population, so he wanted to make sure they stayed healthy and safe. Nothing like losing 1/3 of your population. There goes all your votes and all your money. So he took good care of him, and he still is. And he's opened it up for everybody else. You don't have to wear a mask or anything if you don't want to.
That was the thing, though, is that he allowed people to get out into the sunshine and go out and exercise, get some fresh air, whereas all the rest of them said, locked you up, get out of the sun, stay indoors, and stay away from people, and don't exercise. So there's the big difference. You have the
he's and he was one of the first states to open up full vaccinations too. Alaska was the first, Mississippi was the second, but I think Florida was the third. We're still part of our country, still, especially up north. It's still you got to be 50 and over. Down here, it doesn't matter. You don't even have to be from our state. If you're down here, you can call a local pharmacy or Walmart, schedule an appointment, go ahead and get a shot. 20 minutes later, leave. And then, so the original study was 90 days. The current study, depending on who you are, anywhere from 6 months to 18 months. It depends on your body type. So I'm thinking, yeah, whatever, 6 months. That's what I'm thinking. But I'm not really worried about it because hopefully by then most of this will be over and done with. And I do like the new thing I've seen coming out of Europe. It's supposed to be a lifetime thing, so I want to have to hear about this thing some more. And it's not just for COVID. It's actually it's going to probably cover a range of diseases. I'm like, ooh, we're getting into Star Trek technology now. All right, about time is all I can say. See, this is the problem for all of us and everybody on this planet. We're fixing to make big leaps in medicine. Big leaps in medicine, especially with some of the new nanotechnologies coming out. First off, we got to make sure nobody's abusing it, so that's going to be interesting in itself. But secondly, we have to be careful in the way we approach this and not rush it. And I mean, these are great technologies. Some of the stuff I've read about some of the new DNA things and some of the nanotechnologies are just fabulous. I mean, now they got a pill you can take that can actually go in and repair a bleed in your stomach or in your intestines without having to have surgery. This is serious technology. This is Star Trek technology, and it's coming. I just don't want other things to come out of it, like oh well, guess what? I just grew 2 pistol arms. Oh, they're already pre-armed. Yeah, weird shit like that. When the government gets involved in anything, weirdness can happen. And even there are mad scientists in the scientific community as well. So I'm all for letting this go, and I'm all for expanding this and maybe getting cures for cancer and other diseases. I just want some really good regulation and really some really, 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 really let me see everything that goes on.
I have to say,
Dismal.
I haven't seen the pill that'll help us stomach issues. I've seen the pill that has the camera in there.
That one's cool too.
So you don't, yeah, but that doesn't make sense to me unless I guess they've got some way to control the instruments inside of you, because it does make sense to me.
Bluetooth. Bluetooth.
Yeah, I know, but oh, never mind. That's a whole different show. I won't go.
Yeah, no. Actually, there are a couple of different kind of pills now. By the way, the one you're talking about, they got one, and this is what I call old school technology. So this is basically a pill in a capsule. You swallow it, it goes through the digestive system, comes out normally, but it doesn't disintegrate because of the capsule it's in. So it's just like a straight run camera front and back. So all you're seeing is as it's moving. It's not like they can zoom in. They might be able to zoom in, but they can't negotiate anything. They just got to kind of follow it through the system.
Then we must be looking at a different one, because the one I saw is really small. It's biodegradable. Once you
Oh yeah, that's a whole different one. Yeah,
it's
that's something
have a
different.
colonoscopy the old way or an endoscopy the old way. The way you can do
it. There's some serious technologies coming out that are going to really save a lot of lives. And they're talking about being able to repair ulcers and to remove cancer, be able to do biopsies without surgery. These are revolutionary things. I don't know how many of us will see it, but my grandkids will probably see it for
we
sure.
use a fluoroscopy table to be able to control what they want to look at better. Yeah, I think they can take a biopsy with that type.
So we're getting there, and we still got a long ways to go, but I do see them. They'll cure cancer.
All four of us are going to be brains in a jar. We're going to be right here on
UPRN. We're not going to be brains. We're going to be on the alien spaceship. We'll be
from now.
We'll be in Zeta Reticuli doing radio.
We'll be talking about that cyborg Biden and his
You'll have some kind of orange color. Laura Lee will be glowing white. Dell's ass will still be showing.
I want to be a Halloween
God knows what I'll be. I don't even want to speculate.
They'll be probing you, Joe.
Still. No. I told them if they want to probe me, it's $29.99 a minute. We can discuss it.
Joe texted me and it had autocorrected. I didn't quite understand.
Oh yeah, that's it. Because I was putting JoJo's in there.
You haven't learned how to speak, and he meant JoJo's, and it was something else. And I wrote, that's on my bucket list and to-do list. Just next, how to learn how to speak that.
No, it's just. I was like, oh no, because there's so many people who used to do guest acquisitions for me. A lot of the directors I make crazy, but actually after a couple of years they get used to it. They because they realize I leave out shit and stuff.
Well, it was awesome. I thought it was funny actually.
That's what they always called it, JoJo's, because they said I got my own special short.
Oh, we got Justin. He's here from. Remind me where
you're. Hey, Justin.
You're overseas. Is it in the Netherlands? I think it's 4 a.m. there. He says they have a camera so small it can make video from the inside of a cell without killing it. That is cool.
Yeah, you can. There's a lot of serious technology coming out now, and they got gene splicing, but they got a lot of other things now that they look like where they're activating cells to go after stuff, or they're training cells to go after stuff.
Battery. They're using nuclear waste and diamonds, and they have a battery that lasts 25,000 hours. How's that?
That's what Tesla needs. Oh man, so Tesla's. We need to talk about Tesla for a minute. I like Elon Musk. I'm a fan of Elon. Elon's a little weird, a little strange.
Boy,
he's a little strange. Got a little man crush going on here. But so I'm listening to people talk about Tesla's cars. Now I've seen a couple, and I've seen this guy was showing off his last night. How he drove him home, and he wasn't looking at him. He was playing around doing stuff. But then I was reading about where the one didn't see. Because the truck was too tall, it didn't register, and it ran underneath it and killed everybody in the car.
Oh, no.
So, now granted, it was an accident, and Tesla never going to, pay him. But one thing about Tesla, he doesn't try to make excuses. He said, "Oh, it was bad technology. We effed up. We're going to take care. We're going to take care of the family. We're sorry this happened." But he owns up to it. Just like when his rockets blew up, he said, "No, it was just bad design on this, and this, and we're going to take care of it." So I like him for that.
I have respect for that.
Well, yeah, because he's not trying to bullshit us, but people like him will never run for politics because it's just not going to do. Now he might become his own emperor one day on Mars, but we'll have to wait and see how that's going to pan out. Dell will still be around. The rest of us will be living on some other alien world, but Dell will still be around. Said, Eli, we come to check on you, man. Tell you going to Mars, man.
Nope.
What do you mean, no?
I'm gonna go and hang out with the aliens underground here. Hold it. There's a lot more stuff to do down there. Plus, they already got beer here. They were not gonna have a beer up in Mars for a while.
Yeah, they're gonna have Martian red. What are you talking about? It's gonna probably be a good beer, a little light, probably floats around the glass a little bit. Probably got a
That
little
sounds like
stuff.
weed. Martian red.
And hey, it might be. They might call it that too. You might have Martian red beer, Martian red pot. Buds will be all weird looking because it'll be growing out sideways and shit. But still, you know.
Well, if Elon's up there, he's a pothead, isn't he?
He is a pothead. Just a brilliant one. Just shows you can smoke pot and still be brilliant.
Carl
We're not condoning
Carl
marijuana
Sagan.
either. For anybody
Listen,
writes
man,
in.
Carl Sagan was a huge pothead, and this guy was
that explains something.
Astrophysicist, man.
Yeah, but he was a little weird. Some of his views on extraterrestrials was a bit strange.
Oh no, Joe, we're not weird.
No, we're normal, everyday citizens. Look behind me. See, I've got a nice selection of books back there. Pretty little map. Ignore the skull. Ignore the skull. But everything else back there is perfectly normal.
Ignore the alien skull.
Yeah, ignore the alien skull. But everything else back there is perfectly normal.
Next to the tube of KY.
Bob likes to get in the picture.
They come probing. You don't want to go in dry like a bad landing.
This is what happened when you feed the alligator. Feed the gray to your pet alligator.
See, ain't no alligators in Canada. I'll be there. I don't want alligators in my life, man. Give us an alligator boots.
So Jimmy just wrote in. He wants to know about. We were talking about the Supreme Court thing earlier. I got to tell you, I don't know. I'm not going to be happy if the liberals just go assign 6 new judges. I think that's going to cause a lot of trouble.
Do you
think it matters a lot?
And the 4 of us right here in our daily life, what makes us happy? Do you think that these politicians are ever going to do anything that's going to benefit us ever? It never has. It just causes stress, man. You just be happy unto yourself and never put anything off. Don't let people rule over you.
I think politicians are here to serve the people.
You live your life.
If you talk to Canadians, because most of Canadians, and no, I don't know everybody in Canada, but on the whole, I'm finding probably, and I'm going to say about 80%, they think that the government is their parent. The parent has told them what to do, and like good little children, they comply. And then they get very angry at the unruly children that don't comply, and they're asleep.
Compliance will be rewarded.
That's what they want, man. Assimilation.
Back to normal.
Compliance and assimilation.
Compliance will be rewarded.
They want you to live under their judgment, and fine tune yourself to that judgment. Mm-hmm. That's assimilation, right?
Yes. Compliance will be rewarded.
You will be assimilated.
You just get more and more and more up here. That's why I'm angry. Like, I'm really salty about this because we never even had everything roped off that you couldn't even. The baby stuff is roped off, from what I understand. Like, don't people need diapers and formula and stuff? What are you supposed to get your baby?
Well, this was the crazy part that happened there just before Christmas time, and it happened in the province of Manitoba. The premier of Manitoba went in. Here's the stores, and they decided what were essential products. And I have a real problem with this word essential, because they're saying things that are essential. Well, this fire department is essential. Yes, it is. But also a job is essential too, that allows you to buy food. So that's why it sort of got really crazy when they started shutting down small businesses and independent entrepreneur stuff, that their job is essential, but in the eyes of the government, they don't see it as essential. And that's the problem.
See, in the States, though, in most states, people got unemployment, and also that the PPP, the Payer Protection Program, and that floated people, and then PPP ended like in late July, somewhere in July. And then everything started crashing and burning for a lot of people. But the problem is you have a lot of people who are a year behind in their rent, bills, other things, and or they've been just using one card to pay for the other. At some point, someone's going to have to pay up, and when that happens, it's going to be a major crash. And I feel like that's coming. It's going to be like any time. So, that's just something to look forward to, I guess.
Yeah, I wish Trump would have still been in. There wouldn't have been any crash. And guess what? He would have took advantage of Kim Jong-un. Just recently, Kim came out and said that There's going to be a famine. Hold on a second.
He came out and said, "Ha ha 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 ha." He said
He did kind
exactly
of ha
that.
ha ha. Sorry about that, man. I don't know where that sneezing coming from, but
That's
hope I ain't got damn COVID.
COVID-19.
Oh,
I thought you had your
COVID
shot, man.
18, man. I got COVID 17.
Get for
Actually,
getting the
but
shot.
I know. Huh?
It's all
Probably would have gave it to me, mate. No, but he came out and said that the famine in his country is going to be compared to the one in 1990. See, Trump would have took advantage of that. Trump would have said, "Well, look, let's work out some deals. You get rid of your nukes, and we'll feed you."
Mhm.
But that's not what's going on now.
You know what they need? They need yellow cake, man. Yellow cake with frosting for breakfast. Chocolate cake. I'm done. Good night.
That was the comic stylings of
Coffee
Michael Angley.
Yes, we're gonna have to lock him down, man.
Tune in for more recipes. Whew.
Coffee crash. No, we are seeing this up here with a lot of people, a lot of businesses, and like I said, none of this. It's like I've been saying this years 2020 and 2021. It's the death of common sense. It really, really is, and it doesn't matter. It starts right up at the top. It doesn't matter where you're getting your information, your leaders, this whole thing. It just seems there's no logic or common sense
Oh
whatsoever.
no, there is. It's the movie Idiocracy, and it's come to life. It's just people are getting more, stupid. Stupid is, stupid does, or they don't care. They don't want to know the truth, or like the child sex rings. That people don't want to know about it. They don't want to hear about it. They don't want to know about it. They don't want a solution for it.
They do not
And then
believe it.
you catch these people like the Epsteins and all the royalty or these other people, and even the guy snogging some girl who's 17. To me, that's his deal. They're from England. They're whatever. There's a gray area there. Okay, it was wrong what they all did, but it's not like these guys are passing around children. They're passing around children, and no one took them to task. Nobody stopped them.
Michael, there's a documentary on YouTube. It's held by a Polish documentarian filmmaker, and it's called The Eyes of the Devil. And when I didn't want to watch it, it showed up in my feed, and I watched it. I kept saying to Dal, I was in tears, and he kept saying, "Well, don't watch." I said, "I need to watch it because this is what's going on." I don't think it's ever going to end. When you see the way it's set up over in Europe and in Germany,
Oh yeah,
it's ever going to end.
right.
Well, this is another funny thing that this just perplexes me totally, because this would never have happened if this was a Trump kid that did it. This Hunter Biden laptop and the stuff that's on there, and then him going out on this book tour, and the media isn't asking the questions out there that he's going on, because it's all just snowball questions to promote a book. But the thing is, was that if this was anybody else, you would have been tarred and feathered and
Roasted.
set on fire in the town square. Like that.
Yeah, well, it looks like he might do a little jail time.
You guys made me hungry, man. You're like roasting crackheads, That's a nice
Yeah.
flavor right there. You know what I mean?
But no, he might be looking at jail time. You've had 3 prosecutors now come out and say that
Crackhead
he's probably
ribs.
looking at. He's probably looking at anywhere from 3 to 10 years. He just won't go to a regular jail. That's all.
Well,
You know what I see when I see that guy? I see someone who's messed up. And, he's also messed up, and he's been facilitated by a lot of money. Every family's got a dude like that or a woman like that in there. You know what I mean? He's a train wreck. He's a master of his own destruction. Do I think the guy is evil? Do I think he goes out there and does evil things to hurt other people? No, I don't think so. Believe it or not, I don't think so. I think that his addictions and his problems are all unto him. So it's hard for me to judge people like that. If someone offers me, let's say I'm Joe Biden's son. Hey, I got kicked out of the Navy for cocaine, and here's this company offering me a lot of money to be on an oil board. Of course I would do it. I would do it and laugh about it the entire time, man. Take that money and do whatever. I mean, there's a lot of people
Michael,
that
he's done a lot of screw ups. Like the interview I watched, like she even asked him about marrying his dead brother's wife. Like,
all right. I'm gonna give you for instance, right? All right, that's not hurting somebody in my book. I mean, I'm saying like him taking the oil board and whatever. Yeah. I don't think the guy's the best character in the world, but
well,
I'm just saying.
So I hear where you're coming from. You're trying to look at the big picture here, but I think it's a whole conglomerate that all adds.
Oh, sure.
up to everything. With
Of
it.
course, of course, and then Biden's part of the machine. I mean, Hunter's just a little drip. He's nothing. He's the one that they're kind of like, oh shit, we got to deal with this. But have you ever see Tropic of Thunder, the movie? Right? It was a Tropic of Thunder. Yeah, and so there, Matthew McConaughey in the movie, he's got like this retarded son, a special needs son, but he kind of like he shows that he's like, oh God, look at my son and whatever. But he always has him with him, and he always has his little picture there, and he always takes him with him, no matter what he does. I mean, Hunter Biden's a screw up. I'm not saying the guy's son is like the same. I'm saying that every family's got to embrace that the different people, no matter what they are. Like, you have to accept them. Yeah, if they're a murderer or something like that, or if they hurt people, I don't think the guy is someone like that. I think that he does stupid things.
Hunter?
Come on, he got with this stripper. He got with this stripper. She popped out a baby. She knew what she was doing. Have unprotected sex. So I don't like to use condoms. Boom, have a baby. And then the guy tried to deny it. You really can't do that in this day and age. But yeah, he's a black guy on it. But who's worse? Is that bad, or is Joe Biden worse?
Well, there's the question you asked there, Michael. There's the question. Now you have to put into the character of Joe Biden that he knew that this stuff was going on, and then he took steps to cover it up. So
he got it because he had his hand in
your country. What is he going to cover up for the rest of the stuff that
he made money? He made money. He made money from the Chinese deal. He made money from the Ukraine. He was overseeing the Ukraine. Hunter made money in places where, all right, so I mean, all the places that Biden was overseeing as vice president, Hunter was in there cash grabbing, but he was just a bag man. He was the middleman for the dad. And it was a dad. That's what we need to determine. How much did Joe Biden make off of bribery? It's bribery. It's bribery, right? What he did, Oh yeah,
years to do it.
They talk about your quid pro quo when Hunter was on that oil board and that company was being investigated. Biden was like, "You better get that investigator out of there." He bragged about it on TV, and he still brags about it.
Yeah, it should be enough to get him impeached. But
what was it? $1.2 billion. He was going to hold back unless he forced them to get rid of a prosecutor of a company his son's on. That's a scandal that's unheard of. But in this day and age, it's quite all right because there's no unified outrage. People are busy being mad at other stuff that doesn't even make any sense. The real stuff going on, they don't want to know about.
Well, plus I don't think most people care about it because they watch mainstream media, and there's a green pass for Biden. None of this stuff comes out in mainstream media, or very little. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, it's a joke. Yeah.
Well, that was the whole thing about it, right? Is that the whole outrage was propagated there that they had to get Trump out. Trump is the guy that is the bad guy, will accept anything that the other guy does. And so they all turned closed eyes towards the Burisma stuff, all the stuff that was coming out against the Biden family to just get Trump out of the thing there. Now Trump's out. Now you have Biden there, and he's acting as a crazy dictator in your country in a way, writing executive orders, trying to get stuff passed, looking at your laws, your constitutions, your setup of all your government there. That was just the old stuff. We don't care about that. I'll just write some new stuff, and we'll try and force it past there and change it up and shake it all up. And that's what you're stuck with now.
It's all a bunch of empty promises to people that are fanatics, and that's how they keep them all in line. You know what I mean? Anyone who watches MSNBC or Fox or CNN, automatically I know something about them, and they start quoting, people, they quote Rachel Madcow, and I laugh to myself, and I'm like, wow, automatically you know the way they think. They don't have to say much. They just say, Rachel Madcow said this, okay? I already know everything about you that I need to know. People will tell you everything that you need to know about them. You just got to listen.
Shit, we got to go, guys. I didn't realize what time it is.
Oh, shit.
What shit, people. Anyway, we got to go. I want to thank everyone for tuning
Let's all
in
curse.
to the Centralist. No cursing. It's bad. Cursing
Come on.
is evil.
I want to hear
no
Canadians.
Cursing.
Let out some fucking Canucks.
It's not. They're not allowed to curse. Well, you trying to get Justin after them, man? Stop. You trying to get Del locked back in the cage. Lord, he can be locked in another cage. Oh my God! Stop. I don't want to see it
Have
happen.
they seen the Joe Montaldo border bus that goes right from Mexico to Canada? No
Yeah,
stops.
They haven't. And that's why I keep telling them I can get them in the U.S. No questions asked. But hey, I don't want to come.
We can get you
It's,
right to Canada.
So they're paying us $500 a kid to send them to Canada. So
We should put those signs on the
2,000.
border. Welcome to Canada. You know what I mean? So people are like,
Canada. Well, I thought I was in Canada. No, you don't. You're not in Canada. You're in Texas. Yes, you think it's a country, but it's not. But anyway, guys, we got to go. Real quick, Dell, tell them bye. Laura Lee, tell them bye. Michael, tell them bye. We're out of here.
Bye.
Monday. See you
Bye,
Monday.
people. Coming up next to Quantum Leap with Kathy Belsky. She'll be on in about 10 minutes, so y'all hang out for that. We're out of here. This archive will be up in a little while. And I know a couple people mentioned earlier, I've seen 3 different people say it. No, it's UFO Paranormal Radio Network on here, but look at the title of the show, The Centralist. It has nothing to do with paranormal.
Centralist.
There's a big description underneath it of what we were going to talk about tonight.
Right,
so
right in the middle.
Say you couldn't read it. But anyway, we got to go. Y'all hang out for Kathy. If the end of the world comes, I don't know. Give everybody a hug, say goodbye.
Kathy Bilski actually used a quartz. What was it? One of those big crystals to destroy Trump, man. Destroy him. She focused on him, and boom. That was pretty amazing.
Yes, because it looked like Trump was going to win, and then she got on that crystal, and she got the whip out. I think she borrowed Laura Lee's laser whip, and
that whipping stick. You know what? That
crystal would light up, and it would send out waves. And
that whooping stick is no joke up there in Canada, man.
You see how well Del sits there just quiet, minds his manners and shit, because you know it's coming, man.
And the stun
it's
gun.
not so much the whip; it's just when it's electrified. It's kind of a bitch, man.
I heard she electrified the cage itself. And you can't it's hard being in that little cage without touching the sides, man.
Yeah,
that's like that game
Operation.
Like you're gonna pull